Hey, what's up? Welcome to a special edition of Cool and Unusual Games. I got a Magnavox Odyssey 2, and it came with this cool catalog. So we're gonna dive into what this has to offer. We make staying home fun. That's my favorite motto ever. It also says its only limit is your own imagination, and yeah, you're going to be leaning pretty heavily on your own imagination because this came out in 1978. It was a big competitor to the Atari 2600, and you can see it's got lots of sports games, and on each one it brags about how amazingly realistic it is. Well, you know, I guess maybe by 78 standards, but you know, most of them are fairly comparable to what you get on the 2600. Like, I love how on baseball it says, "It's all here, even an electronic umpire." And I love how they have both soccer and electronic table soccer. Yeah, this is a foosball simulation. The cover art is pretty neat too. They really have a lot of those disco kind of stripes and rainbows, and everything's kind of coming at you. And if that's not extreme enough, every game's title has an exclamation mark after it. And here's an interesting one. I don't know what the heck this is about. Look at it. Take the money and run. It looks at a glance like it might be some kind of a stock trading game, but it's got a maze like Pac-Man. And then it starts talking about beating the robots. I don't know what is going on here. It's like Tax Avoiders crossed with Night Stalker or something. But yeah, Odyssey 2 games aren't afraid to be weird. One of my favorites is Killer Bees, a game where you play a swarm of killer bees and you sting these people who are running around until they get slower and slower and eventually turn into a tombstone. It's great. Yeah, here you got Thunderball, not based on the James Bond movie. Wildly realistic, it says. You know, this game is so unrealistic that it makes Atari's video pinball console look like Pinball Dreams. Then you've got Showdown in 2100 AD, which is more or less a clone of Atari's Outlaw game. I love that it talks about a dramatic death scene. I think your guy just keels over and disappears. And now things are going to get a bit weirder. War of Nerves. You know, this is one I've never even seen, and it looks from the appearances here pretty interesting. I'm going to have to keep my eye open for that one. And I haven't played these either, but I hear they're fairly bad. And speaking of bad, you cannot escape pachinko. Yeah, you even have pachinko on the Odyssey 2. It's kind of interesting because I grew up in the States and I had not ever heard of pachinko until maybe the late 90s, I think. I think the first time I ever heard about it was when they started making all these pachinko games for the Neo Geo Pocket. And yeah, casino slot machines aren't any better either. They're both, you know, pretty random. But here are a couple good ones. We got Blockout and Breakdown. And these are interesting because they're not just clones of Breakout. They're really clever and worth a look. And now we're going to get into the educational section with Mathemagic and Echo, which is basically Simon. Yeah, the Odyssey had a full keyboard, so you could do stuff like this on it. And here's an interesting one. It claims it'll teach you assembly language. And I don't know if it's, you know, letting you write a program directly in assembler. Either way, it sounds like it's got Atari Basic beat. Though I like how they spin not being able to save your program as a feature. And here you've got three more that are a bit more family friendly, like Matchmaker, which is essentially the memory game, if you know that one. But here's one that looks original. I've Got Your Number. Designed for children, but it can also be fun for adults, it claims. We'll see about that. Maybe I'll grab that at some point. And here's one. You can play the game of Go on your Odyssey 2. And you know, that's one I never got into, but I hear it's fantastic. I mean, I don't know about the Odyssey 2 one, but in general, the game of Go I hear is pretty great. Lastly, we've got a cartridge that has Speedway, Spin Out, and a Logic game. Yeah, that one, I don't know why they put that on the same cartridge. It's a very odd combination. And there you have it. I think the catalog is a pretty old catalog, so you know, some of the greatest games did not make it in, but there you go. That's the Odyssey 2. I'll see you next time.